Welcome, everybody, to another Advocacy in Motion, the latest podcast from Vocal Studios here in Addison, Texas. I'm your host this week, Tricia Glowacki, and our mission here with Advocacy in Motion is each week to provide a voice and vision to tell the stories of nonprofit organizations, charities, and individuals who are making a difference in their communities. Before I introduce our first guest, I want to let you know about a great little shop that is a big help in allowing us to spread the word about so many great causes. Energy, wellness, and gifts for the soul. That's Prana Haven. You're going to love this little unique spiritual gift shop located at 107 South McKinney in the newly renovated downtown Richardson, Texas. Prana is Sanskrit meaning life force or vital energy, and that's exactly what you will find there, along with art from the local artist, handcrafted jewelry, and free trade merchandise, plus an assortment of sage crystals and incense. So get started early on your shopping or just go treat yourself. Check out Prana Haven at pranahaven.com for a guide to their many classes led by some of the area's most renowned metaphysical and spiritual instructors. And mark your calendar to attend the Psychic Fair there on the fourth Saturday of each month. Go visit the store in person Monday through Saturday from noon to 6. And if you meet Alex, tell her we said hello. Okay, today we have a very special guest, someone I have been blessed to know for well over a decade and who I'm so proud to call my friend. From an early age, she has set out to blaze a trail in the world of not only for other women in sports, but for all of mankind. In addition to being an Olympic athlete, playing and coaching in the WNBA, and author, being the first female coach in the NBA, she is currently a broadcaster for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and most importantly, she's the proud mom to her son, TJ. Welcome, my dear friend, Nancy Lieberman. All right. Well, LadyMagic herself, thank you so much for being here with us on Advocacy in Motion, brought to you by U Sports Today and Prana Haven. So, Nancy, what in the world are you up to these days? Tell us.
You mean, what am I not doing? I just finished my fourth year coaching in the Big Three. Wow. And Team Power. We were very fortunate that we went to the finals for the third time in 5 years. And anytime you can say your boss is Ice Cube, it's a good day and it's a blessing. And I have a lot of gratitude for what he has done and, really extending the careers of NBA players, actually extending mine because I was coaching in the NBA with the Sacramento Kings. Mm-hmm. And then in 2017, my mother got sick. Mm-hmm. And life has choices. And I had to have no regrets. So I left the NBA to free up my schedule to be with my mom, who was down in Florida. And as, grace would have it on me, the Big Three asked if I was interested in being the first female head coach in a men's professional league. Mm-hmm. It was 3 months. It's only 2 days a week, but it's a pretty high profile gig. Right. And, the cool thing, you talk about advocacy, Q, when he was talking to me, he said, first and foremost, you'll be the highest paid coach in the league. You'll make exactly what Dr. J makes, what Gary Payton makes, what Rick Barry makes, what Clyde Drexler or George Gervin. Mm-hmm. He goes, you won't have to negotiate that. You will be at that level of every guy. Isn't that just music to our ears as a woman?
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And I know it's much deserving, knowing you personally. And let's talk about, speaking of giving, your foundation, your charities, everything that you've done. I know you've got, is it at Old Dominion? You have a statue coming?
It's crazy. God is good.
Uh-huh.
So, NancyLiebermanCharities, we've been doing things for the underserved community for over 40 years. And as a 501c3 for the last 12. And we've raised over, $7 million and we've given away. We've sent 90 high school seniors to college, HBCUs, wherever they want to go. We've built, as of today, 115 what we call dream courts, which have become pop-up classrooms.
You are all over everywhere with that. I mean, every time I see you, you're doing another dream court, which is just fantastic.
Crazy, right? But to be able to put kids in a place where they feel comfortable, it's a melting pot of humanity. It doesn't really matter if you're a girl, boy, rich, poor, black, white, Asian, Latino. It doesn't really matter. It just matters that you have a place to get to know each other and to work with each other. Right. And then we added STEM and financial literacy, career readiness, civic engagement in our Kids and Cops program. And we currently have over 5 million kids utilizing our courts around the country.
Wow. Do you have another one on the books coming up anytime soon?
We do. We have 2 or 3 coming up. We have one at Scottish Rite Hospital that we're doing. November 4th, we have one at Old Dominion. It's a community center there. That'll be our 116th court. We have 3 or 4 more, probably before the end of the year. And then next year, again, we'll roll into maybe 12 to 15 new dream courts around the country.
Wow. And for those people who have been living under a rock, how did the dream courts get started?
Well, the dream courts got started back in 2008-9, where I wanted to be able to do something for kids, something that was in my wheelhouse, and certainly sports is in my wheelhouse. And I thought, what a better place to help kids respect each other, responsibility, accountability, to build their confidence, their self-esteem, their decision-making than sports. And, the truth is that, 80% of kids before high school, especially girls, if you play sports, there'll be an 80% chance of, unwanted pregnancies. If it's for young men, you won't be involved at a high level of getting involved in drugs, alcohol, and gang activity. Right. Because sports has a way of just taking you to another place. It did for me. I mean, I could have been that kid in New York, as you know. I could have been involved in gangs and drugs and, carjacking and hurting people. Right. But sports became, my way to do something positive, not negative.
Right. And I mean, I love your book, Playbook for Success, because that goes along with kind of my motto to play, lead, succeed on and off the field. And I love how you talk about you can incorporate, the teamwork and everything that you do through sports into the boardroom or your job or, just carry on through life. So.
Well, it's important. I mean, right now, Fortune 500 companies, they're hiring student athletes. You can yell at me. Look, my DNA is to win. You can yell at me. You can coach me. I know how to win. I know how to lose. I know how to strategize. I understand teamwork. There's kids all over the country that are going to get hired by Fortune 500 companies because we have those innate qualities and we'll make people around us better. So, sports is a great force. And it's a $1 trillion plus industry around the world. And people are hiring athletes. I'm in the business. Look, I do all the TV, the studio at Valley Sports, Oklahoma for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, I could do TV. I could be coaching in the Big Three or the NBA. I could be doing whatever it takes. I'm in the industry. Sports is a business, and it's a huge business worldwide. Well,
I mean, your upbringing, you brought that up, which I could hear that story every day for the rest of my life. I mean, it's very inspiring. Tell us what sports meant to you. I understand how as an athlete you're always wanting to do better and go higher and you're going to strive to keep raising that bar. But for you, as that 10-year-old in Far Rockaway, of the who's got next and standing your ground and your grit and tenacity, what did that do for you?
Sports taught me that it's okay to be a strong woman, that you can call me a tomboy, you can, judge me, profile me, whatever it is that you want. But took me off the streets, and it gave me a chance to build, the love that I had to have in me, and to be able to say, those magical words to people. No, I'm not getting in that car. No, I'm not smoking that. No, I'm not having sex with you. No is one of the most powerful words that a young boy, a young girl, a woman, a man can have. No. And to have it with conviction, and to not be bullied into doing something or shamed into something you don't want to do. And sports does that for you. It builds your confidence, and it just gives you the wherewithal and the characteristics that you need in life to be successful. And, people talk about STEM and all these, cute little words educationally that they throw around. I was STEM before there was STEM. I'm a critical thinker. I know inertia. I know angles. I know arc. I know science. I know technology. I know engineering. And I know math. I know if I have more points than you, I win, you lose. So I was STEM before there was STEM.
Right. I remember a while back when you were made history yet again, when you were the first female to coach in the NBA, and you were with the Texas Legends. And I remember you told me something that really resonated with me when you said it's not just about the W and the L. It's what happens out there on the court and with that person. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first, I was very honored, and it was a privilege that Donnie Nelson and the Dallas Mavericks would see fit and take that leap of faith. Sometimes it's hard to do something that's never happened before. Not everybody is built for it, and they were built for it. And they gave me the head coaching job, and then it was my job to do my job to help mold men, to set them up for success, to celebrate them and not tolerate them, and to show them, maybe what the next level is. So I know it was an honor for me, for the Legends to go to the playoffs in our first year. And think about it, everybody who I coached against, not everybody, but Nick Nurse won a world championship, and he was, with the Toronto Raptors, and he's coaching in the NBA. Chris Finch was the head coach at RGV in the G League, and he's the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Darvin Ham was with the Albuquerque, the Thunderbirds, and now he's the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. I ended up going as an assistant coach to the Sacramento Kings. All right. That league was, amazing for the development of so many of us, and I was very grateful for that opportunity. And it's made me a better coach. It's made me have a better understanding of what my responsibilities are, and how to get people, really to have intentional greatness on a daily basis.
That's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about, I know my kids benefited as thousands of others did in your summer basketball camps. Those were a lot of fun.
Apparently they still are, because 42 years later, we're selling out every session of basketball camp. Kids need to play. And, with COVID, especially being a mom, these kids need to be able to see somebody else's faces and not wear masks, and, be able to high five each other and do the things we all did. I really believe that COVID, has hurt some of these young people, because they've missed out on a year or two of people that could have been their lifelong friends, from the time they were in elementary school, as they get older, and they just didn't have that, and that attachment. It's one thing to be on a Zoom. I mean, I was on thousands of Zooms. But it's another thing to, just be next to each other and just feel their energy and their kindness or their laughter, to go back and forth and have, 360 communication with one another. Right. So I think it's tougher for these kids, but, we had camp both years during COVID, and we followed all the, the guidelines and protocols. and really fortunate that we were able to do what we did. And kids were chomping at the bit just to get out of the house and to be with other people.
Right.
And we wanted to give them that experience. We didn't want them to lose, two summers. And, we started in 1980. We've had over 200,000 kids come through camp. And, I was saying this the other day. I was giving a speech about consistency and loyalty. Mm-hmm. The way you really know you've touched people's lives or hearts is of the 47 or 48 coaches that we have every summer. Mm-hmm. 90% of the kids that work at summer camp are former campers.
Right.
And that just makes me happy to be able to see somebody who was, 7, 8 years old and go through camp for 5, 6, 7 years. Mm-hmm. Now they're, in their 20s or early, late teens, mm-hmm. They're high school, college, and they're at camp giving back. So, something right happened for them. And, here they are with us, being great role models and mentors to that next generation.
Well, I know personally from being there, I want to come back because it was fun for me as an adult, but seeing, the kids, everybody just had a phenomenal time, and just the encouragement, and you could just see the inspiration that they were feeling and the confidence, and, whether they went on and played basketball or not, they had such a magical experience, and just thank you as a mom whose children benefited from that too. That was amazing.
Well, thanks for saying that, but the kids inspire me. Look, I'm at camp all day.
I know.
Every day, all day, from 7 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And then these last 4 years to be able to run camp with TJ is just exceptional. I'm the mom, and I'm thrilled to be working with my son.
Who's all grown up.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. He's a world-class athlete. He plays in the G League. He's played in Euro League. He's played on some of the most brilliant championship teams in Europe, Maccabi Tel Aviv. Mm-hmm. Last year, he played for the Washington Wizards G League team, the Cap City Go-Go. Mm-hmm. And another thing, talking about working with each other, he played for me. I drafted him in the Big Three, and he played for me this summer with Power.
That was
awesome. That was one of the coolest things. It's never happened before in the history of basketball. First of all, son has to be at that level, and then mom has to be at that level. Mm-hmm. And if anybody knows me, it doesn't matter. I love my kid with my life, but if he couldn't play for me, he wouldn't play for me, because I'm not, giving up my reputation just to put my kid on my team. He had to earn the right to be there.
Absolutely. I remember, it seems like last year I was watching him on the bench in high school play, but I remember how hard he worked, and it wasn't really you or his dad. He was instilled in that work ethic, and to see his rise in that, it was very heartwarming, and I enjoyed watching him play. So good job, Mom. Not just a coach.
It really is. It's kind of cool. I go around the NBA, and guys will be like, hey, Steph Curry go, how's TJ? Or somebody will say, how's your boy doing? Matter of fact, I was at Mavs practice, and same thing. Even, Luka was like, you coach in the Big Three. Your boy played for you, right? I go, yes. So, he's made his mark. He's created his own identity beyond his mother or his father.
Right. Good job. Okay, so how can, what would you say to kids out there, maybe, they're not making the team, or they're wanting to try out, or what's some good advice you can give to the young people out there and their parents when it comes to sports, and just where to start?
Well, you have to start. We have a saying, you can't, make the club if you're in the tub. If you're always hurt, if you always have an excuse, if you have to actually want to be there. This is, there are certainly different levels of participation. But at the highest level, everybody doesn't get a participation certificate.
Right.
At the elite level, you have to be elite. Mm-hmm. You have to work hard. You have to put in extra time, get extra training. That's why we've had so many kids, come through basketball camps all these years. And we just built our first facility in Prosper. Mm-hmm. And we have, just hundreds of kids coming in every day, groups, teams, and working on their game. That's what we all did. It's not osmosis. Right. And we have to get kids out of the house, sometimes off, the gaming mm-hmm. and the video games. And you want people to cheer for you. Right. So if you want that to happen, it's so doable to make a team. It's so doable, to be able to practice, master the things that take no talent. It doesn't take talent to show up. It doesn't take talent to have a finisher's mentality. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a max. If TJ and I are running and TJ beats me, it doesn't mean I'm a loser. It just means that TJ's max, his running is faster than mine. My max is different than his max. Right. And it doesn't mean I'm not good. It just means I can get better. We can all get better at whatever we do in sports and life and friendship and parenting. Mm-hmm. So, that's what we say. And, this is also a generation where we encourage you to try to not have mediocrity. It's, the saying, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish and they eat for a lifetime. Right. We want you to eat, and eat means we want you to succeed, whether it's in sports, whether it's academically, whether, you're going to end up hopefully in the world of business one day. And we want you to be disciplined, but we also, we want you to be focused mm-hmm. and competitive. This world is competitive. So if you want to be successful, then you have to earn the right for where you are. It's not, look, people go, oh, Nancy's an Olympian, or Nancy's a Hall of Famer, or she's this, that, and the other. That doesn't mean nothing. I have to work every day. Everybody wants my job. I have one of the 30 jobs in the world doing the studio for the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's only 30 teams in the NBA. You don't think there's a 25-year-old that thinks they can do my job? Every single day I have to go into the studio with the mentality that tonight we're going to get an Emmy. Tonight I'm going to give so much great information that somebody at home is going to go, wow, I didn't know that. And that's my job. Right. My job is to make you go, wow, I didn't know that about Luka. Well, I didn't know this about Karl Anthony Towns or LeBron or Steph. And that means somebody has to do their homework. So I'm still grinding, and I've been at this for a long time and have been successful, but I don't allow myself to sit there and exhale and, pat myself on the back, how great I am. I don't think like that. I always think I'm climbing the mountain. There's two people in life. There's the hunted and the hunter. And if you're the hunted, then you're at the top of the mountain. If you're hunting, you still got that dog in you. And I have that dog in me. And I hope everybody else on some level has that dog in them.
Oh, every year I know you are just raising the bar to go next level. And I've always thought about you, and I mean this in the best way, a pebble that has this ripple effect. You have no idea how many people you inspire. I mean, you inspire me as a person, as a mother, that kid that you take 5 extra minutes with at your camp, or you're just a very inspiring person. And I know that that's been God's purpose for you in life, and everything you do is amazing because you set the bar high. And you don't take no, and your work ethic is just uncomparable to any I've ever seen. So,
well, people inspire me. You inspire me. People inspire me. The janitor inspires right. me. I'm not in the business of profiling people. I'm in the business of, learning from people. Mm-hmm. I say this all the time. Kobe Bryant was a really great friend of mine, and the sadness of the whole deal was on that Friday night before he died, I was in the studio and he and I were texting back and forth with one another. And he said to me, well, we've been talking for 2 years about me coming out to coach Gigi's team. And, you know, life gets moving and blowing and going. And he's like, when are you going to come out? You know, I still have my text messages from him. And I said, well, I can do it next week because I have TV tonight and I have to do an appearance tomorrow. I said, but I can do it Wednesday. So I go to California, I do an appearance. And then Saturday night, Kobe calls me and he says, okay, let's, you know, he's chop. He's organized. He goes, okay, when are you coming out? He goes, you know, you'll Uber to the house. Oh, we'll grab some food. We'll take the helicopter to the Mamba Academy. You got as much time as you want with Gigi. And, you know, if you want me to help. And I was like, duh, yeah, of course I want you to help. And then we'll go back and stay at the house. And, you know, Thursday morning you go home. Well, Sunday morning, TJ calls me and he says, Ma, and you could hear in his voice, he had just landed in Italy. And he goes, Mother. And I said, TJ, what? I'm at a conference. He goes, Mom, you haven't heard. I said, heard what? He goes, Mom, Kobe Bryant died. I go, no, he didn't. I just talked to him last night. He knew we were texting Friday night. And he goes, Mom, his helicopter crashed and he died. He goes, Mom, I thought you were on the helicopter.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, yeah, God is good. And sadly, you know, losing Kobe, you know, it was too close. It was just too close. What had happened in our communication. But, you know, I remember, you know, we talk about people inspiring. You don't know who you're inspiring. When I played at 50 in 2008 in the WNBA, the next week I went back to my real job at ESPN and I was doing the game in LA and I'm walking down the hall and Kobe goes, hey, Nancy, do you have, you know, 10, 15 minutes? And I'm like, yeah. So we sit in a room and he goes, you know, Natalia, Vanessa and I watched you play Saturday. I said, you did? He goes, yeah. He goes, it was unbelievable. He goes, how did you feel? How did your body feel? What was your mindset like? I mean, he was just taking me through a think tank. And I'm sitting there thinking, you just won the NBA championship the year before. You were the MVP of the NBA. And you're asking a 50-year-old white woman what she was thinking. But that was the beauty of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant didn't care. He was just trying to pull knowledge that maybe could help him somewhere down the road one day. He was an equal opportunity stealer of information. And that was the beauty of him. He was inquisitive about, you know, what made people great or afraid or not afraid. And he just filed it. And, you know, it's the same thing. You know, I just want to be able to take as much knowledge. You know, a lot of people are very kind to me. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm blessed beyond understanding to do what I do. I'm not afraid. You know, I respect everybody. I fear nobody. And I can do anything given the opportunity. And that's what we teach kids.
Well, I love that. And I love you. And I hope that another 5 years don't go by before we can grab dinner or catch up or whatever. Thank you so much. And anything we can do here for you, congratulations again on your statue. We're so proud of you. And thank you again for your time. I know your time is very precious. And I guess we will wait and see you on TV soon.
Well, thank you. Thank you for what you've done. You've been a great role model, a great friend, advocate for so many people, including myself. So I appreciate everything you've done, and just God bless you always. And thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you, Nancy. It means a lot.